I know I'm hard on Kevin Durant a lot of the time for being soft, especially with the media, but I will never take away any credit from Kevin Durant when it comes to the actual game of basketball. He was not soft last night. That performance in game 5, I'm not going to sit here and call it the greatest playoff performance of all time. Reason being, Giannis and the Bucks greatly assisted the Nets in winning that game. We'll get into that in just a second. But last night, that was the best playoff performance of Kevin Durant's career. And he's had a lot of good ones. For him to come off a torn Achilles and put in a performance like that, it's nothing short of amazing. There is no way the Nets should have won that game last night. They were two and a half, 3-point underdogs at home. Kyrie did not play. No, he wasn't sitting the game out due to rest or for personal reasons, maybe a sabbatical. No, Kyrie Irving actually has a legitimate injury. He couldn't play. James Harden shouldn't have been playing. Now, credit to James Harden for stepping up and being there for his team. I'm hard on modern NBA players all the time for being soft, so I'm not talking out of both sides of my mouth here. James Harden is a tough dude. But last night, he was nothing more than a decoy. Hell, in the first half, he was actually a liability. Bad turnovers, couldn't make a shot. James Harden was playing on one leg. No Kyrie Irving. It's Kevin Durant and a team full of role players. And the Nets win? How did the Nets win? I'm going to steal a line from Charles Barkley last night. The Nets won because the Milwaukee Bucks are the dumbest team in the NBA. That was the worst coached NBA playoff game I have seen in a long time, maybe ever. Mike Budenholzer, he was already on the hot seat. That game last night, that is the game that is going to get him fired. Giannis is supposedly the best defender in the NBA. The problem is, that only seems to be the case in the regular season. So if Giannis is the best defender in the NBA, why was he not guarding Kevin Durant last night? I don't want to hear the same excuses. Mike Budenholzer didn't want him guarding Kevin Durant. He wanted to save Giannis for the offensive end. Enough. Giannis is supposedly the superstar on this team. You've seen a 16, 17-point lead evaporate in a matter of minutes because God is out there disguised as Kevin Durant, just going off on you. And you mean to tell me there are no defensive adjustments? Yes, Mike Budenholzer, he does shoulder some of the blame. But if you're Giannis, you have got to tell your head coach, I'm locking down Kevin Durant. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, I'm locking down KD. That is what all-time great players do. You think LeBron James is going to allow Kevin Durant to take over a game like that, not even try to stop him? This is why I have been saying for the last 12 to 18 months that Giannis needs to get the hell out of Milwaukee. I credit him for wanting to stay, build a championship team the old school way, but it's not going to happen in Milwaukee because you're not going to be able to recruit a Kevin Durant or a Dame Lillard or a Steph Curry to come link up with you and play there. Last night was proof. It was all the proof that you should need that Giannis is not the guy. He's not the alpha. He's not the guy that can lead a team to a championship. He's not on the same level as Kevin Durant or LeBron James. Giannis is more on the level of a guy like Anthony Davis. Kevin Durant put the Nets on his back last night and carried them to that win. Why, Giannis? He just went out with a whimper. His post-game press conference was absolutely pathetic. He was calling KD the best player in the world, which is the truth. But then he said that they were just hoping KD would miss some shots. All the while, Giannis is over there in the corner guarding Joe Harris. There's nothing we could do to stop Kevin Durant. I never heard Michael Jordan or LeBron James talk like that. But if you're a Bucks fan, there's no need to worry. There's no need to worry. Giannis is now saying that he is going to take on the challenge of guarding Kevin Durant in Game 6. Game 6? Dude, Game 6 is too late. Last night, Game 5, was the most important game of this series. The Nets were hobbling into that game. 2 of their 3 superstars have one good leg. One's not even playing. You were up double digits at halftime. But if you watched that game, you knew that double-digit lead was just an illusion. Charles Barkley talked about this during halftime last night, during the halftime show. Once again, Charles Barkley right on every point. Milwaukee shouldn't have been up 16 points at the half. They should have been up 30. When you're going up against Kevin Durant, a 16-point lead is not enough. It's not safe. Dude can score 16 points in the matter of 3 or 4 minutes. The Bucks' offensive game plan was all sorts of screwed up. You've got Giannis and Brook Lopez, 2 players that the Nets can't guard in the paint. Brooklyn doesn't have anyone that can guard either one of those guys down low, besides maybe Blake Griffin, who's always been suspect on the defensive end. The Nets had Blake Griffin guarding Giannis most of the game, which means Brook Lopez has a mismatch all night down low. Damn near every time they went to him, he scored. But they didn't go to him enough. Instead, Mike Budenholzer decided that they were going to play iso ball. They were going to be a jump shooting team. Why? Because, well, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I don't know why the hell they decided to go with that game plan. It just doesn't make any sense. Then when their game plan goes off the rails in the second half, Mike Budenholzer, he still refused to make adjustments. Nah, we'll just keep throwing up jump shots. We'll hope they fall. Like I said, when Mike Budenholzer gets fired, this will be the game that got him fired. It's mind-boggling to me. The Bucks had all the momentum going into Game 5. You're going up against, half of a Nets team? Even though they still have the best player in the world, this is a game Milwaukee should have won. And they found a way to screw it up. Typical Mike Budenholzer. Typical Giannis. But what Game 5 really did was once again expose Giannis. This guy cannot be your number 1 option. He just can't do it. One of the reasons for that, when you get into crunch time, you can't rely on Giannis to make free throws. I heard someone on TNT say last night that the reason the Bucks brought in Jrue Holiday was to make free throws in crunch time. I watched Jrue Holiday for years in New Orleans. I like him. He's one of my favorite players to ever have played for the Pelicans. But you can't rely on Jrue Holiday to make free throws either. You look at his stats, he has a decent free throw percentage, but when the pressure is on, Jrue Holiday is good for making 1 of 2. Like I told you guys after Game 2, this series is over for the Bucks. It's over. Even after they won their 2 home games, my stance hasn't changed. It was nice to see Giannis and the Bucks put up some fight, but it is going to be damn near impossible for them emotionally to get over this loss in Game 5. You had Brooklyn with their backs against the wall, and you refused to take advantage. Mike Budenholzer's job is to put his team in the best position to win, and he has failed in doing that time after time after time. I always hear coaches make the excuse, well, it's a make or miss league. Players have to make shots. No, that is a myth. Coaches have to put players in position to make shots. When you have a sizable advantage in the paint and your team is shooting perimeter jump shots the entire game, that is on the coach. At one point last night, late in the 4th quarter, you had James Harden guarding Giannis. A one-legged James Harden guarding a guy, 6 inches taller than him? And Giannis doesn't even get the damn ball. I'm not an NBA expert when it comes to X's and O's. Even I could see that mismatch. The bottom line is, Giannis is not a leader. He is not a LeBron, a Steph Curry, a Kevin Durant. That's not who he is. And Mike Budenholzer is not the right coach for this team. It's as simple as that. Once Giannis comes to the realization that he's not the guy, that he can't recruit the guy to Milwaukee, and he also can't do this on his own, he is going to leave the Bucks. All right, what did you guys think of the Bucks-Nets game last night? Did Kevin Durant win that game, or did the Bucks lose that game by being the dumbest team in the NBA? Also, do you think Giannis is a true superstar level player? And when I say that, is he on par with the Kevin Durants, the LeBrons, the Steph Currys? Sound off in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.